Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. This is a school board workshop, and the time is 12:03. I want to apologize in advance if we have any audio or visual problems. We've been working with some gremlins today. Today on the agenda, we have the review of Neola policies, the 2000 program, and review Neola policies 5000 for students, review of Neola policies and revised policies, and the agenda review of the May 23, 2023 regular agenda and good of order. We will begin with the review of Neola policies 2000-programs. Mr. Bruno, if you would like to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With us, of course, is Tom Young, who's been our Neola consultant and advisor throughout this process. We also have with us today Ms. Tammy Scott, who has been the Neola champion for academic services, as well as our assistant school board attorney for academic services. And they will go through this process beginning with the 2000s.
All right, please proceed.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Superintendent, Council, board members, it's a pleasure to be here again. This we anticipate being the last meeting where I will stand before you and lead you through the review of the policies. The next time I show up here, I think will be June 27th, when the board will finally adopt the policies, and I will have nothing to say there except congratulations and job well done. So today, you may have noticed that I am here alone. I have no other Neola support with me. That is because Annette is in Paris on vacation. Frankie is in Statesville, North Carolina, having some work done on the RV. Mindy is doing some work for the Florida Bar, and Tom Whitmer is in North Florida working with clients. So that leaves me, and I'm assisted today by your staff, who will bring up on the screen policies about which you have questions. It is my understanding you've had the opportunity to review the last batch of policies for your consideration, and that Kathy has met with you and attempted to address questions that you have about them. So without further ado, we have staff here that will be able to respond to questions if I cannot. So with regard to the Section 2000 series, does the board have questions?
Before we go any further, I would like to mention Mrs. Giovanelli will be joining us a little bit late today. Mr. Fisher, do you have any questions?
Not at this moment, Chair.
Ms. Patrica?
Not on this section, no, thank you.
Jordan?
No, thank you.
Ms. Langford Fleming?
I do not.
Ms. Morgan?
I have none.
I also have none, but that's, again, because we have all been super well briefed. I just want the public to know that. It's not that we're dumb. All right.
And I will tell you, Mr. Chairman, this is the way it should be. This is the way boards and staff and council should operate. When it works this way, it works very well.
All right. Let's move on to the 5,000 students.
5,000 series. Questions, board members?
Mr. Fisher?
No questions at this moment.
Ms. Patrica?
No, thank you.
Ms. Jordan?
I have no questions at this moment either. Thank you.
Ms. Langford Fleming?
I have no questions.
And Ms. Morgan?
I have none.
And I have none.
I'm beginning to be cautiously optimistic that I'll get out here before dinner.
We thought you were buying. Anyway.
Well, I might if it keeps going this way. Now, you have some remaining 6,000 in the 6,000 series and some, well, let's do the 6,000s. Do you have questions concerning the 6,000 series?
Okay. Mr. Fisher?
No questions at this moment, Chair.
Rika?
No, thank you.
Ms. Jordan?
I have none, thank you.
Ms. Langford Fleming?
I have none.
And Ms. Morgan?
Some of the questions I raised with legal counsel are being, she's working with Dr. Desamore, so apart from that, I have no questions. Thank you.
All right, and I have none.
7,000 series and stragglers.
Mr. Fisher?
No questions at this moment.
Ms. Patrica?
I do have one.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that I didn't bring this to the superintendent. I think this is more for you, to your attention before today, but it just struck me. Policy 1500, remote work. I recall a recent presentation by HR regarding trying to create more opportunities for staff to work from home when possible so as to be competitive in the HR arena. Should we have a line in here that encourages remote work when permissible, as opposed to just defining what it is for the board and the superintendent to consider? Is that more of a strategic plan thing, or is that something we should have in our policies?
I think what we want to do with remote work is set up the opportunity for remote work, which is what the policy does. That will allow us to develop the procedures and identify the positions which could be remote and accountable for that remote work. For instance, I have found corporations across the country that are doing things with their customer service lines where those people can be remote because they can answer the phone anywhere, but they have very strong metrics to ensure their phones are still being answered and the public constituents are being dealt with. Same way with potentially with Salesforce people, because they are paid on a commission basis, so they have no trouble releasing their Salesforce. Yet some of our big corporations and some of the big corporate leaders have brought back their staffs to their, so I think there's some ongoing discussion that will create the procedures, but you have for the first time given the opportunity for the staff and the superintendent to consider this. I will share with you that there are some areas, and I stopped short of mentioning them, where we would have the ability to people work from home, but we would also have the metrics necessary to ensure that they are maximizing that time in producing what they could be supervised here, and making sure they're still meeting the same product output that we'd expect if they're being supervised. So I think it's enough just to say it can be considered, and then let us work to make some determination. We'll come back in workshops and briefings to you as we identify potential areas in certain positions that will have this opportunity.
Great, thank you. I'm satisfied, thank you.
Ms. Jordan?
Thank you. Through the chair, if I may,
Yes.
with Mr. Pre-Bruno, what we spoke about yesterday, is that part of these
The
changes, when we were speaking about campaigning and?
Yes, those
So-
are all part of the stragglers, yes.
And those have been changed or added?
They're in here, they're all changed and added.
Okay, then I have nothing. Thank you.
Ms. Langford Fleming?
I have none.
Ms. Morgan?
No, I have none.
And I have none. So,
There you go.
what more can I say?
Well,
Anyone else have anything at all on the policies?
I noticed Mr. Fisher said he had no questions at this time. Mr. Fisher, will there be another time, do you think?
Well, I'm satisfied with the revisions, including I was not able to locate any other instances of the 28 stickers, and I appreciate that being handled. So no, I don't have anything else at this moment or this time. So thank you, Mr. Young.
All right. Well, Mr. Chairman, it seems as if the board is satisfied at this point with the recommendations that have been made by the superintendent, and you're ready to move on to the next step, which is advertisement and first and second hearing and adoption. Am I understanding the situation correctly?
Yes, I believe, correct, Mrs. Mr.
That would be the next step. I would like to make sure I get direction from the board to do that, to make sure that we bring these policies now for first reading, and then second reading. First reading will be on June 13th, second reading on June 27th, and we will also then move forward with the sunsetting of our current policies for that reading, as well as the formal sunset on June 27th.
Okay. Board members, any comments on that? Or everybody feel that we should proceed? Ms. Morrison?
Yeah, I'm fine to proceed. As I said, I have a couple of open questions. As long as those are taken care of, I'm prepared to go forward. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Trigger?
And I agree. I've got some sunshine questions that I know that the attorney is working on, and otherwise I'm good to go.
Ms. Jordan?
I'm the same. I know that we've spoke yesterday about certain things, so once those are done, I'm good as well.
Okay, Mr. Fisher?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I have no further questions for this meeting, so thank
Okay.
you.
I like that, specific. And Ms. Lakeford Fleming?
My questions were all answered yesterday. Thank you. I'm good.
Okay, I have 50 some, no, I am also fine. So please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, if I might,
Yes.
it has been a pleasure to work with this staff. This is a complicated and time-consuming process, and I'm sure that all of them are happy to hear that they will not have to be summoned for a Neola conference, or the Neola champions are not going to have to continue to champion their work. It has been an excellent experience for us, and a great deal of credit for that goes not only to the staff, but to Kathy and her staff. The way she has operated here has been remarkable to me, because we have jumped all over the place, necessarily so, as a matter of convenience, because sometimes we weren't ready to take an entire section and work on it. So we jumped all over, and she kept track of things, she and her staff. And obviously the work that she's done with the board has been significant and successful. One last comment. This situation here could have been complicated considerably by the significant change in board membership. In other districts where this has happened, there has been a grinding to a halt of the process, while new board members familiarize themselves with the process. Here it has been almost seamless, and I am most impressed, and I congratulate the board as a whole for the way it's handled this situation during this time of transition. So with that having been said, I have nothing further. It's going to be hard to put this on the clock. 15 minutes on the clock, just to make sure.
I move that we don't put it on the clock.
That motion dies for lack of a second. Board members, thank you, Kathy, superintendent, staff, appreciate you all.
Yep, and thank you from the board to all the Neola. Okay. It's my knowledge that no one has submitted any questions for the agenda review, so I think we'll just move right on past that. And move on to the good of the order. Unless you have something to say, Mr.
I think it would add what you added about the Neola policies. There's significant agenda review that goes through all of our agendas before they're posted. I want to thank all of you. I know I don't want to speak on behalf of our attorney, but I know she thanks you as well. You have really dug into the one-on-ones. You've really been always physically present and really a part of asking really great questions. We then give you the information, we give you it in board updates and other ways. Just can't thank you enough. So for the public, just because there aren't any questions, I would like them to know that that does not mean the agenda has not been thoroughly reviewed. So thank you, Mr. Chair, for that opportunity to clarify.
Thank you. All right, next is the good of the order. We're going to start the other end this time, Ms. Morgan.
And I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lincoln Bethune.
You should warn me before that. First of all, congratulations, Superintendent, about the one-year anniversary with Lee County School District. So appreciate all you're doing, and I know this has been a crazy year to jump in, but you've done it well. Thank you, Ms. DePay Bruno, for all the work on the Neola, and thank you for answering all of our questions, and the board just to have done such a great job at being so thorough ourselves, and appreciate it. But I do have a couple of things. Went and saw our wonderful, incredibly excited principal out at Lemuel Teal. It's hard to find someone with the energy level as myself, but I think he supersedes that. So the Spartans are well on their way to having a good start to the year. I did just leave the Head Start and Early Learning Center. Just a couple of things to update the board on. They were able to, because of some funds that didn't go in one bucket, they moved to another, to be able to paint all of the interior buildings this year, replace a skylight, and replenish all the paper resources to get them through the summer for anything that they need. The Child Care Partnership Grant is partnering with a company called Open Doors. I believe they're from Cape Coral, and they were able to get a sponsor for every single classroom this year, a business partnership. So that was exciting to hear. And they're able to send a team of teachers to the Summer Conscious Discipline Institute, and they are, I guess, going to request a hire of fourth coordinator. They had a great ending of the, we don't meet again until September 20th, I believe. Great group of people, and I just appreciated being able to be a part of that this season. So that's all I have, Bill.
Thank you. Ms. Jordan.
I forgot my 5 sheets of paper with my notes, I know you love that. Actually, I really don't have a lot. Yesterday, a few of us went out to the beach and watched the children. I'll let other people elaborate on that. It was just beautiful being able to sit down there and see that come together. This morning, I attended the sheriff's last call for the deputies, which was very emotional. It was very emotional, but it was really well done. And I just want to say thank you, Ms. Tammy Scott, for all you do. I know you worked really hard on Neola, and Mr. Bruno, and everyone else that was part of that, because I don't want to miss anybody's name, but I know you were definitely the lead on one of those. And I just want to say congratulations to all of our graduates. I'm excited. This weekend is going to be very, very busy for all of us, and I just can't wait to see them all cross that and finish. So thank you.
Ms. Patrica.
I have nothing for the good of the order, thank you.
Mr. Fisher.
I like this, having other people go first. It's a good change. I appreciate this. Yeah, most of you said everything that I wanted to say, so I definitely appreciate that. Thank you to Neola. Thank you to Attorney DePree Bruno and her staff. Thank you, administration, for Neola. Well, it was seamless. I want to assure the public it was not a rubber stamp. We definitely, I know, did put my attorney hat and put them through some paces on certain ones, so I appreciate that. And it's been a great job on that, so I appreciate it. And congratulations to all the graduates for this weekend. Look forward to seeing you all. Thank you. Oh, and congratulations to the superintendent on his one-year anniversary. We're lucky to have you.
I think maybe next time I'll go first. I do want to comment a little bit more on the beach. They had their end of the year elementary kids perform out on Times Square, and while the performance was great, just the looks on their face was what really made it. They were just excited and energetic, and it was a lot of fun, and it was fantastic weather out there. You'd think it'd be hot and sweaty and everything else, but it was breezy and it was very good. So I wish them the best of luck next year in their school when they get back into it on the island. But other than that, I think that's all I had to say at this time. So at this point, having no other business to come before the body and seeing, oops. Oh, I already let him talk. Mr. Superintendent, would you like to add some more comments?
No, just a reminder again about graduations and what a great opportunity this is. There's a lot of work going behind the scenes, and I'm always impressed by our principals this time of year and how much they're at. But I also know how hard they're working behind the scenes to ensure each and every student is able to get across that stage that possibly can get this done. Reminder to the board and to our public also that we began a tradition last year of having a summer graduation as well for those individuals who have missed a credit or didn't pass a final. The opportunity to graduate is not over. There will be additional opportunities. Thank you very much for the recognition of the 1 year. It has been an amazing year and look forward to continuing to serve. And I just want to take a second to recognize a lot of the academic services staff that's here today. And Tammy's done amazing work. There's no question about it. Corey Huffman has dug in and helped, and Mr. Dupree Bruno has led this charge. But it's just funny that this is the last day with academic services, right? Human resources, operations, everyone has worked very, very hard to get all of these policies updated. We're going to have everybody take a breath. Today is Wednesday. I'll give them Thursday and Friday. But now we know, and they're all starting to smile, they all know that the procedures that support these policies come next. And the good news is these policies are aligned to a lot of our procedures, but they'll need to be reviewed and redeveloped to ensure that we're complying with what the board's expectations are. So thank you for doing this. This really clarifies the work and the expectations for our entire staff. And thank all of you for a great year of leadership with me. It's been fun to learn. It has been fun to learn along with you about how we can help steer this district for the betterment of our students.
Mr. Dupree Bruno.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So I also want to thank, and I want to make sure I do put some names out there because they have worked so tirelessly to make sure that these Neola policies get done. So Tammy Scott, obviously from Academic Services, and she's led her team that has all of these individuals here had input on these academic services policies. We also have Lisa Vasquez from HR, Tony Carroll from Operations, Susan Millay from Business Services and Finance, Jim Schwartz for IS, and Dr. Savage, who got us organized from the very beginning with charts to make sure that we didn't miss any policies, so we appreciate that. And I also have to give a big shout out to Benny, who has worked tirelessly behind the scenes, working with Neola, getting these appointments, scheduling staff, making these policies are updated, sending them to all of that administrative and support that has been done. So we really, really appreciate everybody's efforts. June 13th for the public will be the first reading. The 27th will be the second reading. Public will have an opportunity to make public comment at both of those readings on the 13th and the 27th. But if you have comments, please go ahead and send them in. I know some constituents have already done that. We appreciate that. And I also want to make sure that the public understands, even though this was a very short meeting, the amount of work that the board members have done in the background with regards to these policies. Yesterday, I think they were all probably looking glassy-eyed by the time that we finished our meetings because there were so many policies and questions that they have. So they have been doing a lot of homework behind the scenes, and every single board member, each time we have a workshop, communicates with me and members of the different teams that have worked on the policies to address questions, concerns. I know Mr. Fisher talked about some of the legal analysis that we've had and very in-depth discussions, in-depth questions. So thank you to the board members for all of your hard work too to bring these policies forward. So I'm looking forward to landing this plane on the 13th and the 27th.
Thank you. And now, at this point, having no other business to come before this body, and seeing no objection, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 12:27 p.m.